Hey guys, Lex here, back for more of the Great Deduction. Last time, we went back to Madame Two Spells and found out more about the professor and the Drebber guy. Anyway, let's explore the workshop. 23rd of October, Enoch Drebber's workshop. Oh, that looks like... Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. Indeed, it would appear so, though only a prototype naturally. Oh, so you got it then. Gina, well done for finding this place. Such little time. You've really worked miracles. It's Toby here, who's the miracle worker. Oh, I thought you lot would show up before long. What's wrong with his eyes? Hello, Spectre. One knitted brow. Is he allergic to dogs? Looks like he's eating a lemon, not a bag of fish and chips. So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer? Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in here. Oh, what a shame. Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us a chance to investigate. According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue that you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say, go to Paris with a debt of gratitude unpaid now, would I? Thank you. Anyway, if you're hoping to snoop around here, I'd get cracking. Lord Mantiques and the forensic investigation team are on their way here as we speak. Them again? I imagine you've got your picture by now. You don't take too kindly to lawyer types, right? So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down whilst we have the chance. And you, Sholmes. Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do to lawyers. Very droll, Gregson, very droll. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork model. Right then, let's see what we can find here. This is a European-style quiver of arrows with steel bolts inside. Oh, do you suppose? Crossbow bolts, these. They're the right size for the bow you lot turned up at the exhibition grounds. In other words. Yup, that's more evidence to support your theory. All goes to show that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind the scenes of the whole scam. The door doesn't want to open. Yeah, looks like it's got a pretty hefty lock on it. Suspicious locksmith on his way over from the yard, so hands off till he gets here. With permission, Inspector, you could have that lock open in less than a minute. Well, you don't have the permission. No one's given it to you. Gregson looks as though he really enjoyed that. Well, there's no sign of anybody on the other side. No, Drebber must have fled at the first sign of danger. Ah, this appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say? It's an impressive looking back massager, that's for sure. No doubt that if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, your aches and pains would soon go away. It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist could wish for no higher honor. Would you like a massage? No, I'm fine, thank you. I had no idea it was such a grand thing. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much more to this Enoch Drebber than conjuring tricks. Couldn't agree more, my dear madam. And how about you, Mr. Naruto? Wouldn't you like to take it with you? For your tired shoulders, of course. He's not going to let that go, is he? Curious though, isn't it? You expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere and not haphazardly cast aside. English gentlemen can be quite a mystery sometimes. Can I look at that? There's a little metal plaque here, look. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. Seems rather ironic, doesn't it? Clearly Mr. Drebber really was a talented scientist. Nothing secret is there. That's it? Okay. This is a piece of glass. It's almost as thick as it is wide. Yes, I've never seen anything like it. If you were to compare it to a human, only Mr. Sholmes has such thick skin. There's really no need for such a comparison, Mr. Argo, as you well know. Anyway, it can only be from the Crystal Tower, surely. Yes, I think so too. It was probably made especially to meet the demands of the Great Deduction. Okay. Anything else? Oh. What on earth is this? It's an aeroplane, Mr. Naruto. One day, scientists believe it will allow humans to fly freely in the skies. Is that how the trick will be described, is it? Sorry? Well, it's actually suspended by a thin but very strong cable, isn't it? Oh, well, this model is yes, but a real airplane would actually fly high in the sky. While suspended from somewhere even higher in the sky, of course. Because large metal objects obviously can't stay in midair unsupported. So, to you, the solution is ever taller towers? Oh wait, there's an up? Sorry, Mr. Naruto. The machine is covered by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. There would be serious repercussions if you were to examine it from the crown of the government. Well, those two don't seem to be holding back. It's quite hollow on the inside. No working parts or devices of deception to be seen, my dear fellow. No loose change dropped on the floor, nothing. Not even a bone for Toby, my dear fella. British people are very much ruled by their own ideals, aren't they? I think that's just these two, Mrs. Sato. Oh shit. Oh. Something wrong, Mrs. Sato? Well, I thought I heard a noise from the far side of that door. Well, Gina, did you hear it too? Yeah, I heard it all. What do you reckon, Toby? Right, mind the grease. Uh-oh. Whoever's in there, open up. This is Scotland Yard. Should have just picked the door. My, someone is in there. Ah, just rotten bleeding lock. My dear Gregson, as I said only minutes ago, if only it were countenanced, I could unlock the door in less than a minute. Fine, take the rap for it. Just get us through that blasted door. There, may enter at will. Confused minutes with seconds, I think. Time is of the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for? Nothing for it, I suppose. It's an emergency. There's a strong possibility that beyond the door is the engineer we all seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow. Yes. Hmm? What? What's happening here? Why is everything upside down? Rats, there ain't no one in here after all. But there must be. It's only moments ago that we heard those noises. Maybe that's the sound of Drebber running away. There's only one door in this room. No windows that could afford an escape route. The skylights are too high. There's footprints. What's that up there? Are they footprints on the ceiling? Blow me. What do we have here then? Looks like someone was trying to burn something in a hurry. Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints. To what? To that Professor Hairbrain's balmy machine, is it? Blimey, if we had these, there'd have been no need for muck around trying to investigate all the scrap metal. There's something of great interest here, too. This rope is lying on the floor at the foot of the pillar. Rope? What's significant about that? Never mind. See, but you do not observe, Mr. Naruto. Huh? Let's investigate the entire room thoroughly before the forensic investigation team arrive too. There's no denying it, is there? There are footprints. Yes, it appears so. I simply can't imagine how they came to be there. There is a Sato shoot up or something? Because it's a takedown. I mean, I'm no Wonder Woman, Mr. Naruto. That would make her almost superhuman, I suppose. That's a really lovely model. It looks just like a real flying balloon. I think it's probably staying aloft on the same principle of a full-size balloon using gas. Green flying balloon does have hallmarks of amazing deception at the Great Exhibition, doesn't it? Could it be that the whole thing was planned here in this very workshop? Almost every piece of furniture is upside down. Mr. Sholmes' suite isn't ever this much of a mess. You're in no position to comment on mess, Mr. Naruto. I suppose it's not quite the same thing, is it? I mean, it's not messy in here per se. Said everything is literally upside down. But why? Safe. It's a very large safe. I don't suppose even Mr. Sholmes could open that lock. Although if you were a thief, you could just steal the entire thing, I suppose. It's bolted to the floor to prevent exactly that sort of underhanded trick, Mr. Naruto. Well then, you could just steal the floor as well, I suppose. Sorry, but you really aren't making any sense at all. Anyway, I think we can agree that whatever's inside must be very important. Mr. Sholmes, you found something? Ah, Mr. Naruto, yes, in point of fact, something rather fascinating. What do you make this? Let's see. Never seen anything like it before. Looks like a bundle of thick cigars wrapped up in a large... Ah! Mrs. Sato, what's the matter? That's surely that's a time bomb, isn't it? Whoa! Did you say? A time bomb? Sorry, but what is a time bomb, exactly? Eh? You truly are one of a kind, Mr. Naruto. I won't take that as a compliment. Huh. You don't know nothing, do you, Odo? You haven't got a clue of what it is either, have you, Gina? I invite you to consult a dictionary later, Mr. Naruto. But this particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it has a very similar appearance. Oh. Oh, well, thank goodness. But then what is it? I see. So that's it. Goodness, Mr. Sholmes, have you seen the heart of the matter? There are times when I consider my lot most unfair. I'm fated never to know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I have learned to accept hardships that come with being a great detective, Mrs. Sato. Here we go, I feel a great deduction coming. Once again, I I can draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first is that the inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Drebber himself.
Oh, but how could you?
The second conclusion is the small device on the floor there is without question completely genuine.
Please, Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything.
It would be a pleasure. After all, it's a great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer points of their trade. Well, Inspector Gregson seems delighted with the idea anyway.
Oh, you've deflected the inspector's glare with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done.
You're too kind, my dear madam. Hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly stand just there, Mrs. Sato.
Oh, yes. Be delighted.
So, shall we begin? Once again, Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. The Great Deduction, the game is afoot. Flip furniture. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table, the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down on the floor.
The item in the floor was on the ceiling. Are you suggesting that?
Indeed. Key here is gravity. It would appear that technology has at least succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the earth. Where the gravity in this room was reversed and then suddenly restored normally.
Goodness.
Inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in the whole business. I quite understand your skepticism, Mr. Sato. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. An anti-gravity device almost identical to the one that featured in a dream of mine only the other day, in fact.
But then why does it have a clock on it?
A most relevant question indeed. That is a timing device that controls when the gravity detection will switch. There was clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically. And the commotion we heard earlier from the other side of the door was the moment that restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. So you see, we need to look further to explain the state in which we now find this room. The direction in which gravity acts in here was reversed by Mr. Drebber, before being restored to normality in an automatic fashion some time later by the timer device. I have witnessed precisely the scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed. Conclusion, because gravity was reversed. Missing engineer. Now let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads. Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints on the way up there on the ceiling? A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Drebber's aim was singular, to escape. However, there's only one way into this room, accepting the skylight, that is.
Ah.
By inverting the gravity in here, Drebber was able to fall conveniently to the ceiling, make his escape via otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving these footprints behind on the way.
But the ceiling in here is very high, Mr. Sholmes. The gravity reversal will sudden when Mr. Drebber have fallen to the ceiling rather violently.
Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was cornered with nowhere to run, so escape through the skylight was his only option. You may recall I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution.
Oh, the rope.
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope? By anchoring one end to the wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling. Which explains how Drebber was able to escape this room before our arrival. He reversed the pull of gravity, fled via the skylight. And personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again now, just for fun. Escape via the skylight. Darn. Thought he was gonna do that. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. I thought the room just rotated. She's completely spellbound. Mr. Sholmes, there's just one thing that troubles me. Expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life. Thing is such a thing actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean. I would say it with the man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century. It's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis. Your whole deduction hinges on it. But my dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. However improbable it may seem. It's a marvelous line, wouldn't you agree? One of my more enduring pearls of wisdom. I had Iris come up with the exact phrasing. My original was clumsy. Yes, I have a feeling I've read it in something that Mrs. Idle lent me once.
Objection!
Actually, there's one other thing, Mr. Sholmes.
The spell's broken at last.
The rope you found on the floor, wasn't it?
Indeed it was. There were only coils near the wall.
But if Mr. Drebber had used it to escape the way you described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall?
Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end. As I think you'll find out, 2 ropes. And as evidence of such, you need only look at the mystery we faced in this room, now skillfully unraveled. The argument is as circular as the coils of rope.
I think perhaps we need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. I'm sure with some minor corrections, the great detective's great deduction will lead us to the truth.
Yes, you're right. We must do it quickly before Enoch Drebber gets too far away. If you're ready, then let us resume. Sherlock Holmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Lip furniture. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table, the chairs, the lamp, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in the room had, until recently, been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down on the floor.
Every item in the room was in the ceiling. Are you suggesting that...
Indeed. The key here is gravity. It would appear that the technology has at least succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the earth. For the gravity in this room was reversed, and then suddenly restored to normality.
Goodness.
Then inverted furniture clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business.
I think gravity could have reversed in this very room. I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. Only Mr. Shrubs could conceive of such explanation.
But the man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so...
Yes, you're quite right. You must completely discount the idea at once.
Oh, that's unusually merciless of you, Mrs. Sato.
You have eliminated the impossible. Whatever remains must be the truth. The detective himself said so, didn't he?
While refusing to part with his dreams of anti-gravity devices.
Yes, I suppose so.
Well, let's see if examining the topsy-turvy scene a little more closely reveals some proof that shows exactly what the gravity in this room was or wasn't doing. The gravity.
All the furniture here is very conspicuously upside down, certainly.
Yes, it does immediately put you in the mind of some strange quirk of gravity, I admit.
Ah, could it be that a mini whirlwind passed through here, don't you think?
Oh wait, there's a flower right there, I didn't see. I'm sure that's much more plausible than Mr. Sholmes' explanation.
Oh dear, saying the first thing that comes to your head isn't the way forward here, it seems.
Yeah, I didn't see this. Bright face. Well, well, I wasn't expecting to find a bunch of pretty flowers in here, that's for sure.
Oh, look at that.
I know. That slender little vase looks like it's about to topple at any moment, but the flowers are thriving. Somehow it makes you think the fragility of life, wouldn't you say?
To be honest, Mr. Naruto, something else about it made a rather deeper impression on me.
Take that!
The upright face clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. Upon my word, Mr. Naruto, you surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Trying to press your assistant here, perhaps? No one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes, trust me. As you rightly say, though, it appears at first glance that all the furniture in this room is upside down. This unassuming slender face is standing keenly to attention. And unlike the large safe, there's nothing affixing it to the floor. And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, much as it pains me, gravity in this room was never inverted at all. My deepest sympathies for your loss.
Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes.
But the show must go on. Let's continue with our deductions. Now that we know the contrivance is not, in fact, an anti-gravity device, there remains but one other possibility. You don't say. Someone deliberately turned over every piece of furniture here. Which might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved. Namely, why would anyone choose to do that? Quite, and naturally there's an explanation. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned on upside down was because of the anti-gravity device. It's aptly determined that this device must have something to do with it, hasn't he?
Afraid the allure of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong.
Well, there's no doubt that somebody did this. Somebody turned all this furniture over. So whoever it was must have had a reason.
Afraid nothing comes to mind at all, though.
Well, let's look around and see if the answer presents itself. The text right here. Look, there's something written on the other side of this chair.
Oh, yes. Safe. 432582.
Safe, as in safe and secure.
As in secure lockable box, I think.
Admittedly more likely.
Well, there is a large safe built in the floor on the other side of the room, so yes.
So you mean this number would let us open it?
I wonder why it's written here, though.
Take that!
Yes, the reason why everything in this room has been turned upside down is because of the safe combination. Precisely. I believe, Mr. Hardo, that you had a very similar experience once, did you not? Yes, last year. I bought a lottery ticket and noted the ticket number down on the inside cover of a book just in case. That's it, for people are forgetful souls at heart, and always make a written note of important information.
Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think.
And what, pray, happened next, Mr. Naruto? When the day of the draw came around, I'd forgotten which book I'd written the number in, and had to turn my room upside down to find it. That's it. For people are forgetful souls at heart, and always forget where they noted things down.
If you always note things in the same place.
Actually won the second prize, you know. I couldn't remember which magazine I slipped the ticket into. Thanks, Naruto, but I believe I've proved my point now. Which is that a very similar scenario is clearly unfolded in this room. Finding himself requiring access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed the combination code. He remembered that he'd written it on the underside of a piece of furniture, but forgot which one, leading to the state in which we now find the room. Yes, Mr. Drebber turned all the furniture in here in a desperate hurry to look at the combination code that would unlock the safe. To find the safe combination, solved. See engineer, 8VX skylight. Now let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads.
Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling?
A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight.
Well, if a change in the direction of gravity can't explain it, then how did those footprints get there?
As I feel as though that particular mystery has just become even harder to solve.
Can't think of any other way to explain it at all. Oh, life was so much easier in those halcyon days when gravity could be reversed.
It was minutes ago, and those halcyon days never existed in the first place.
Well, I suppose we must simply put our faith in Mr. Sholmes and observe the area in more detail.
Putting our faith in Mr. Sholmes is what got us into this situations in the first place. Oh. This is a gas balloon, isn't it? It's tiny, but it does seem to be a real balloon.
Yes, I think you're right. I think it's the helium that's keeping it up.
Green gas balloon, why does that seem to ring a bell with me?
You can see there are footprints on the balloon too, look.
Oh yes, surely that's a clue, isn't it? Though, what it tells us is, I'm not sure.
Take that!
The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of a nearby shoe. In a closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well. In other words, the aim was never the skylight at all, but the balloon.
But for what purpose?
A green balloon. That seems somewhat familiar data.
Ah! It was a piece of green balloon as envelope that Mr. Naruto and Iris found at the scene.
And aside from the green balloon that Mr. Gods claims he saw above the stage when the incident occurred, it's the second birdcage, crux of the whole instantaneous kinesis deception.
You mean to say?
If we assume that the balloon in here is a model of the one used at that day, there's another strong possibility that may be concealed inside it. It's something our absconder was desperate to retrieve before making a hasty getaway. But the Lilian's out of reach. That's why he resorted to a projectile, namely the shoe. Most probably, Drebber intended to tear a hole in the envelope by sealing it with a shoe. However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner of those lofty heights.
Oh dear, we must desperately need to examine that balloon. If only there was some way we could see inside.
You recall I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution.
Oh, the rope.
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this rope?
Mr. Scholz has managed to bring the deduction back to the rope.
Alright, I have to admit that was clever. We just throw the rope up on the balloon and pull it down to us on the ground.
Which is much easier said than done, I believe. It could take us a very long time as well.
True, perhaps we need a more surefire method. In fact, we already have one of those, don't we? Okay, it's a crossbow. Oops.
Take that!
Crossbow. To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this crossbow?
That was found at the scene, in fact.
In all likelihood belongs to Mr. Drebber. If the man had brought it away with him that day, he could have avoided losing a shoe at such a critical time as this. So, shall we? Your curiosity is deeply stirred, no doubt, my dear fellows. What is that Enoch Drebber has hidden inside the balloon? The head? What the? A waxwork? Indeed it is. A waxwork head inside a metal mask. A mask that is shut tight, fastened with a strong and quite impenetrable lock. So we can't see the face inside it seems.
Just a moment, this is the head of the waxwork model? Is that... oh goodness.
I see you've joined the dots, Mrs. Otto. Excellent. Of course, a headless waxwork model. A case of the abducted Madame Two Spills model that you'd largely solved. It's only the head of the killer that was still missing. Indeed it was. But I believe Madame Two Spills will now have to settle with her sizable account with me. This, as you have now surmised, is the head of the infamous professor. Yes.
But why is it here?
This conclusively confirms my suspicions. The man responsible for stealing the professor from Madame Two Spells, and returning it, sans tête early today, was none other than Enoch Drebber. This is incredible. Professor Hairbrain's case and the waxwork abductions they're inextricably linked by Enoch Drebber's workshop. Waxwork head. Well, it seems our logical pleasure cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows. All that remains is, yes, to speak with the architect of this adventure.
Architect?
I mean, Mr. Drebber? As it seems quite impossible that he escaped via one of the skylights. Obviously, the man must still be here in the room.
What?
His location should be abundantly clear. If you simply reflect on the journey we made together during this deduction, Enoch Drebber is right here somewhere in this room. So, Mr. Naruhodo, would you do the honors? Yes, of course. Mr. Drebber's hiding place must be the... safe. Look at that mess in front of the safe.
Yes, plants and accounting ledgers.
As if somebody was in a hurry to empty the contents of the safe, in fact.
Take that!
Before we gain access to the back room, we heard noises from in here. Which tells us the engineer was still in the building at the point in time. He was in fact searching for the combination to a safe. Pressed for time, he made no attempt to right the furniture that he overturned in the process. From which we can deduce that his search for the combination happened very recently indeed. In summary, Mr. Enoch Drebber is at this very moment inside the safe. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. Inside the safe. Deduction complete. Elementary. So, Mr. Naruto, I think perhaps it's time we ended this game of hide and seek, don't you? By opening the safe, you mean? What else? Let's see. The combination was 1,
4, 3, 2, 5, 8, 2.
I knew that. Alright then, here goes. You found me. Right then, sir. Mr. Enoch Drebber, I presume. Correct. You better start talking. You tricked Professor Hairbrain with that bogus machine you built.
And you shall have to explain the theft of the waxwork from Madame Two Spells as well.
Whilst I would be delighted to answer your many questions. Personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first. Deactivate?
Parcel?
I refer, of course, to the time bomb I left in the most prominent position.
Ah!
I see. Stunned silence. You're all gearing up to die with me then.
No! Mr. Sholmes, with only 7 seconds to spare.
That was too close for comfort. Got 1 foot in the grave already. Are trying to help us get a killer or get us killed.
Mr. Sholmes' deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they?
Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave. The resemblance of an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I must say.
Anti-gravity devices don't exist.
I won't push it, Mr. Sholmes. This guy. I can't believe we were nearly blown up. What was that sideways glance made of Mr. Naruto? I thought that deducing meaning from the movement of people's eyes were your specialty, Mr.
Never mind that now. Let's see what Mr. Drebber has to say for himself.
What happened here? What on earth happened in here? You found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. Yeah, well, you'll be giving it a thorough going over. Don't you worry, Drebber. What fails to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That I was not expecting. When I heard whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to bolt.
Whistling?
Ah, that would have been me.
Oh,
For some reason, I woke in a fine fettle today. No words, just tightly squeezed chips. Clearly I must have a screw loose though, as I could remember the combination for the safe. Another known loose, as I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I'd written it down. We also found a rope over by the wall. Yes, I had hoped to exit through the skylight, but sadly the rope was too short. So I then set about searching for the combination code to open the safe. And burning their criminating blueprints, don't forget. Regrettably though, we failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters. And after you hid yourself inside the safe, having first the parcel ticking, well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police. What a death wish have you, hiding right beside a ticking time bomb. Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe? It's no ordinary safe, it's specially designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't have left a scratch on it. So in fact, the safe was the only safe place. Precisely.
but once you climbed inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out again.
I invite you to look more closely. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside. Allow the door to be unlocked from within. Ah, so it is. I had always intended to blow this place to smithereens in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans. Do you mean to say you're planning to blow us all up? Oh no, that was unforeseen. You mean? Most people run, you see. I see a ticking time bomb at their feet. Ah, calculate the time required for a retreat to a safe distance and set the device accordingly. But you seemingly endless discourse in here through a span in the works. We would have died. Something wrong, Gregson? I have something on my face, besides the usual eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. I think we have a fairly good idea of what's been going on here now. But what about the two incidents you've evidently been involved in recently? Professor Hairbrain's instantaneous kinesis experiment at the Great Exhibition. And the waxwork model you stole, in which the head belongs to. That's no ordinary head, you know. That's the head of the professor. Clad in iron mask and a lock is so strong, I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the Kindler's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as protection. After all, that's enough.
What's going on here, Gregson? I'm sure you're aware I have sole jurisdiction to investigate it.
Yes, well, Dr. Scythe again. So the forensic investigation team are here.
And you know full well this engineer is a key witness. Why are you allowing this lawyer to access to him? Lord Strongheart knew of this, you'd be finished.
You lot, leave at once. My dear madam, there's no need for such a threatening tone, I assure you. After all, that's no way to greet an old acquaintance, said Dr. Scythe. Hello, Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes knows Dr. Scythe? If it's protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you're quite misguided. It's really nothing more than a shell. Get out. But of course, we'll show ourselves the door. I see you haven't solved it at all. Mr. Naruto. Yes? Prepare our delightful, entertaining investigations have run their course for today. But Mr. Sholmes, let us leave this place in the doctor's capable hands. Oh. I said get out, now, all of you.
Presence here is not required either, Gregson.
Understood. But I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for the lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. There was a time bomb set in here that this lot disarmed. Spectre. Stop giving you a chuckle as you Drebber. So sorry. Didn't mean to offend. Quite right, of course. You did disarm the time bomb, didn't you? Yes, you did disarm that one.
Eh? What are you? That one? Yeah, you mean?
Oh shit. Darn. I thought it was gonna be a cooler looking explosion. It was an hour later that we heard the news. The enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage at the Great Exhibition. Professor Hairbrain's invention and all its secrets were blown away forever. Alright guys, that was the second longest recording session I've done for Crazy Days Attorney. So yeah, next time we'll continue with the trial, I think. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.